Hi everyone, welcome to UTV Gooner and our show, The Shooting Lone Star with Ram from the Austin Gooners. Hey bro, how are you?
Hey man, 1-0 to the Arsenal, man. It's always lifts my spirits. But it's been a good week and I can't complain, man. How are you doing?
I'm good, bro. Still pissed off a little bit about
Yeah.
the game on Sunday, but yeah, good win today. Let's start with today's game as obviously straight after we're doing the show straight after the game today, so yeah, I can get a
Yeah.
match reaction from you. Your thoughts?
Hey man, like definitely a lot of rotation, a lot of we've got a lot of injuries. A lot not serious. It's come out that, we're gonna get a lot of guys back over the next coming days, but today was definitely a day you don't want to rush anybody back. Um, I was really excited to see Smith Rowe out there, Nelson, really get their like a test. Like this was their chance to kind of really show that they belong and get, continue to get more and more first team minutes. Um, and I thought we played a great first half. And the second half, I thought I think it was less of us. It wasn't necessarily us playing bad, but it was Brentford, playing well. They were at home. They started a lot of their first team Premier League starters. Um, and they were just they kind of took over the game a little bit, but I thought defensively we held it down. Ramsdale looked good. I was happy to see him have a really good game. Tomiyasu, man, if I had a vote for man of the match, I'd give it to him, man. I thought he was outstanding. Anytime somebody was taking a shot, he was right there to defend. I thought Jorginho, good bounce back game for him. Like overall, I think everybody played well. I know we had like a young guy play, Charles Sago Jr., 19 years old. Didn't really do anything like noteworthy, but he also wasn't like a liability. So for me, the fact that I learned his name today and he didn't like do anything wrong, that's a win in my book. So I thought overall, like a really, Jacob Kiwior stepped up and did well. Havertz had a good second half. Nketiah was active, got the assist. I'm starting to kind of worry about him. But overall everybody played really good, man. I thought it was just a scrappy 1-0 win that ultimately we deserved it. We deserved to be up 2-0, maybe 3-0. I thought Reece Nelson should have finished his chance that, Kai Havertz had a real good ball to him. But it is what it is, man. We got the win. We on to the next round.
Yeah, bro, that's the main thing, just getting the win when it's cup knockout football like that. But yeah, there's a lot of rotation today, as expected. We know this is the bottom of our priorities in terms of the competitions we're going for. But at the same time, it was a nice blend of the mix of experienced first team players and some of the players that mainly on the bench. And as you said, a debut as well for one of the young players from the academy. So yeah, really good overall, getting the win. Second half, yeah, it was a few shaky moments that I was getting nervous, but we held out, got the win. And just looking at some of the other results, so most of the teams that we'd expect to go through did go through today. But actually, I say that I didn't think Chelsea would get through.
Yeah.
I thought Brighton would get through, but yeah, Chelsea got managed to get through. But Newcastle managed to knock out Man City.
Yeah, that's big.
They're out of that now. So all the talk about them going for a quadruple after doing the treble last season, that's done.
Done. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to
Baby
be.
steps. Got to knock them out in little things. So that their aura takes a little bit of a hit today. So that's good.
Yeah, for sure. Again, they did rotate a lot. I saw their starting lineup, and yeah, Haaland on the bench. I don't even think he came off the bench, or if he did, it must have been very late because when I
Mm.
last checked it, he wasn't on the pitch. But yeah, so they're out of the way, and it's a chance. Saying to you now, the draw's about to be taking place in a minute live on Sky Sports. I know you can't see out there. I'll keep you updated
Yeah,
with
yeah.
who you get. But there's a chance into the last 16 now, chance possibly to go deep in that competition. And I know it's the least of the priorities, but it's always nice to win a trophy. If we can get to the final, potentially win that competition, it would be good.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely not like a priority, right? As you mentioned earlier, like probably lowest in our priority. But it would be nice to win. And if we end up going to the final and winning it, I'm gonna brag about it. Not as much as I would about FA, obviously, or um, a Champions League or Premier League, whatever. But we want to see. Arteta has mentioned this. Like we want to be able to rotate, but also compete and go deep into these different competitions. So I thought we were able to do that today. You think about last year, we did similar rotation and looked absolutely dreadful against Brighton. Um, and then maybe 2 years ago, when you think about when we started our FA Cup run, or lost to Nottingham Forest, we didn't even get to go on an FA Cup run, but we had to do a lot of rotation, and we just stunk it up out there. And today it was a different story. Like we're still unbeaten, and we're still as you said, we win a knockout competition, and we're able to rotate, and a lot of the guys showed a lot of grit, man. And like I think that's important in the long run because it sucks to say this, but towards the end of the season last year, we didn't show a lot of grit. And that's a big reason why we didn't finish top of the league because we met adversity and we didn't respond well. But we've responded well a lot early on to this season with to the adversity we've been facing, and we've been looking relatively decent, man. And again, it's just about building. I think today was just a good building block and gave a lot of our fringe guys a lot of confidence. And also, I think putting a lot of confidence in Arteta that, like Arteta can rely on some of these guys like Reece Nelson, ML Smith Rowe, Jacob Kiwi, or Tomiyasu. I don't consider him a fringe player, but he's somebody who's had to like work his way back up. And it was good to get a lot of these players some minutes on their legs because we're going to need them if we have any intention of living up to kind of the standards we've already set for ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, bro. It was really good to see Smith Rowe play his 100th game for us. He's not had
Yeah,
many opportunities. He had that injury that really set him back last season. So hopefully now, you can build on this, and we know what a great player he is. He showed great quality 2 seasons ago. So hopefully, get that confidence back, and he gets some good game time going forward and continues to improve.
100%, man. I thought him and Reece Nelson were like the biggest names in terms of all right, today's your chance to shine. This is your test. And I thought they both passed with flying colors. Nelson with the goal, like brilliant. I mean, he should have had two, right? He should have had a brace. And I thought Smith Rowe was just everywhere, man. He needed to be. He was, doing all the little things that people you don't notice until you're like, oh wow, like he's really out there hustling. So yeah, man. Hopefully, we're gonna probably need to see him more often, right? Because of what we've got going on in terms of rotation, squad depth, injuries, and things like that. So yeah, man. I thought they showed out and looked really good.
Yeah, for sure, bro. So let's now talk about our last Premier League game.
Oh yeah,
Disappointing in the end, finished 2-2. I would say it is a fair result, but at the same time, we could have been 3-0 up. We had two really good chances after we went 1-0 up with Gabriel Jesus and Nketiah. Unfortunately, we couldn't take them. And then, credit to Tottenham as much as I don't like saying it, but they played well. They kept to what they said they would. Their attack manager said they're going to attack. That's their new philosophy, to be on the front foot, and they did try to attack us. I'd say, like I say, overall looking at the game, you would say a draw is a fair result. But I think the big thing with us was the injuries. You look at their midfield, Basuma and Sarr, two really big, strong, physical guys, and we only had Declan Rice in there by himself, and then he had to come off at half time. If we had Partey and Declan Rice for the full 90 minutes in that game, I'm very sure it would have been a different result. Another thing that we've got to get used to as well is that we played midweek, full strength team in the Champions League. We're not used to having to do that. Tottenham have a whole week off as well. So we're going to come across this situation throughout the season. And, you could see we did look tired towards the end. In that second half towards the end, and normally would have them pin right back trying to get the winner, but we didn't really have the legs. And we saw many of our players look so tired, and yeah, difficult. Many positives. There were some mistakes for their goals, we know as well, but what can we do when these things happen? It's football. Unfortunately happened in this game. Really, always really want to beat them, but someone was saying to me after the game, in situations like that, if you can't win it, don't lose it. We didn't lose it. We managed to come away with a 2-2 draw. You saw what it meant to them. They were celebrating so much as if they had just beaten us. And it just shows the different levels that we come away from that really disappointed. And you can see them, they were so happy. It's like such a
Yeah.
good result for them. But yeah, what was your thoughts?
Yeah, man. I mean, as I mentioned right before we started, right? Like, as a neutral, if you didn't a fan of either of these teams, it was a great match, man. It was fun to watch. Lots of back and forth action. Um, Got to give credit where it's due, right? As much as I hate saying it, like Tottenham look like a completely different team, and they're believing in the coach, and they understand what they have to do, and they had a game plan, and they stuck to it. And to their credit, a lot of the reasons why we didn't look so good towards the end of the game and as the game wore on was because they kind of stepped in, and I wouldn't say dominated, but they got us out of our game plan, and we looked very unsure of ourselves at times, and that has to be a credit to them. But on the same token, like, as bad as we played and as much as we were struggling in terms of like injuries and things like that, like, we had opportunities to win the game, and points are going to get dropped, and it sucks whether it's early in the season or late in the season. Um, so yeah, I think I like the idea of us feeling and treating this like a loss, because I think it did set us up to have the kind of performance we had today, where it was like, yes, maybe you're not part of the starting 11 regularly, but everybody needs to show up and step up and play their game. And we were able to, I thought we were able to respond well today to what happened on Sunday. And I think we're going to be able to continue building from results like that. Like, I thought we responded well to the draw against Fulham. And so we just need to, I mean, there's a lot of things we need to clean up so that we're not drawing games that we're supposed to win, because this one does suck and it's a little annoying. Um and I think, in the long run, it's going to be good for us. I think a lot of like our anxiety about this kind of game is just that City have been so good and have, or essentially been perfect, right? 6 out of 6, 18 points for them. Like, we have to really be on, like, to be on their level, we have to be just as perfect as them. So I think part of the anxiety is that, but if we kind of leave that out and just kind of look at the progress our own team is making, I think we can definitely use this draw for a positive. Um, and if you think about it, we're only 1 point off of the pace we were last year, right? So a lot of football to be played. Um, even though I like what you said, I never heard of that like phrasing that way before. Like, if you can't win it, don't lose it, and I like that. Like, yeah, we fucked it up. We had a chance to win, we didn't win, but we didn't lose it. And as I've only been a fan, right, for like 6 7 years, but again, I was even saying this, the theme, a lot of the theme last year and towards the end, or like 2 years ago, even, like, we're winning games that we would normally lose. And this is a game that we would have normally, going back to like our banter era, like, this is a game we would have lost. And so I think we showed a lot of good resiliency, like, you know, holding out for the draw. Um, so yeah, man, I mean, it sucks. It's disappointing, but I think ultimately we're going to build from it and continue moving forward, man, because we have no choice. As you said, man, it's going to be, I think you were right. Like, we did have to cope with putting a strong effort in Champions League and then turning around and playing in the league. Well, if we want to compete on both fronts, we're going to have to cope with that, and we're going to have to get better at that, because it's happening again next week, right? So I think it's growing pains. Like, I think, we haven't looked like we're a different team this year, obviously, right? Like, last year was last year. This year we're going through different struggles, but I still think we're learning from them, and we're grinding out wins. We could be grinding out more, right? We dropped 4 points, but I still think there's a lot of positive things to look at, despite like even despite like what injuries we have going on right now.
Yeah, bro. Talking of the injuries, like it's just been bad luck for us to have this many injuries. Last season we didn't have so many injuries like towards the start. through the
Yeah,
middle. Towards the end of the season, we had a few, but this season, from the start of the season, so many injuries. Started with the very first game, Timber, and like Partey's out, Martinelli was out, and then to top it off, the perfect backup we have for Martinelli is Trossard. I mean,
he's
he's
out.
out before the game.
Yeah,
I mean, like with the central midfield situation, Rice gets injured during the game. There's no Party either. That's our two best holding midfielders not available. So yeah, we've been really unfortunate with injuries. And good news is, from what we're hearing, they're going to be back hopefully by this weekend coming. But from what we're hearing, very, very likely, or if not for sure, by the time we play Man City in a couple of weeks. So it's great news that they're going to be back.
yeah, I agree, man. Like, yeah, that's why I'm not like, so I wasn't so concerned about like our starting lineup today. And yeah, we were getting a lot of good news from all the injuries that they're just all like kind of like, obviously it sucks, right? They all happen at the same time. It's never a good time to get injured, but if the time, now's a good time, I guess, right? And also like it all just seems to be just little things that are just, that happen to you during the season. And luckily we've been able to cope with it, right? Like, at least for this game, right? Like we cope with it. Uh, I mean, I think the injuries did cost us 2 points against Tottenham, right? I thought once Declan Rice was out, the dominance that, I think he was low key having a really good game. And then I think James Madison kind of pounced on that injury. And he kind of started having a better game once Declan Rice was out. Leandro Trossard, like, come on, bro. Like it's kind of I feel for him because he's been wanting more game time. He finally got game time, and then he got hurt. Um, but yeah, I think someone even like Martinelli and Trossard, and maybe even Saka are going to be good to go. They could be good to go for this weekend. And if I were up to me, I would kind of maybe hold out Saka and end his streak of starting. And it sucks that it's going to end, but I'd like to see him kind of just get a break. I thought, someone like Reece Nelson earned his spot, and give him a shot. You know what I'm saying? Um, and then maybe maybe Trossard. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. A lot of uncertainty, I think, going into Saturday. But I think with some players like, I think we have a good enough squad to take it to Bournemouth and squeeze out a victory. Um, to get us. I think we're just gonna have to worry about this stuff like one game at a time. And Bournemouth have not been looking very good so far, so I think we have very solid chance against them. Um, they're 17th in the table, so they're not looking good at all. Um, so yeah, we'll see, man. But I mean, I am hopeful that some of the guys who were out injured show up on Saturday and just kind of play well enough to take us over the line.
Yeah, bro. As you say, Bournemouth should be able to deal with him, even if we still have some of these players out injured. But we know what's coming. Man City, we won our full strength team against them, and we've got a big week, as you said, Champions League before that as well. They're playing away in the Champions League as well. So they're playing the day
Mhm.
after us. So we'll have that little bit of a rest advantage. But yeah, let's hope our players are injured. We'll be back for that one. So yeah, let's get into that Bournemouth game next then. So I saw them a couple of weeks ago before our game against Everton. They were playing Chelsea. So I was watching them and don't seem that good. Chelsea made them look better than they are, really.
Yeah, yeah.
Chelsea have been struggling recently. But yeah, you've seen their form. It's not that great. What's your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I mean, they did win today against Stoke. So I don't know anything about Stoke, but I guess good win for them. But yeah, I watched a little bit of that Chelsea Bournemouth game, and I agree with your assessment 100%, man. Like they really made, yeah, like they're not like, yeah, Chelsea just kind of suck, right? But Bournemouth played difficult. I mean, early on against Liverpool, ended up losing 3-1, but they scored early, but they could not keep up with Liverpool. I mean, Liverpool were the much better team. Um, like I think they drew again, early on against West Ham. And then it's weird, yeah, the Tottenham game is the one where Tottenham wins 2-0. But that's the one where I kind of thought like Bournemouth had a lot of good chances against Tottenham, and I thought it could have easily been reversed. That was probably like their best game that they played. They seem to be doing decent in the Carabao Cup. So like, I guess good for them. But they drew against Brentford, so kind of. I mean, they're going to play the mid-table teams hard and do their best. And at home, they seem to be difficult to play against. But I don't know. I think with the I guess it all depends on who we roll out there starting. I really have no idea. Um, but I think even if we roll out a starting lineup like we did today with maybe some slight adjustments, maybe like that academy kid gets replaced with the regular starter. If we go with Odegaard and just our full starting 11, or most of our starting 11, kind of like we went against uh kind of like when we finished the game with against Spurs a little bit with Jorginho in there. I think we win comfortably, like 2-0. Um, but yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to like put in a ton of goals. I think Bournemouth will play difficult just because they're at home. But I think we'll be able to kind of cope with it long enough to pull away and get the victory.
Yeah, I think it should be a comfortable win. I'm gonna go for a 3-0 win.
Okay.
It will take us nicely into next week. As I say, a massive week. The Champions League game away to Lens and then Man City. Huge week. I know it's still really early days, but we're already 4 points behind Man City. And just know how strong a team that they are. This is their best start they've ever had as well.
Mhm.
They're really on fire at the moment. So we really want to make sure that with no slip ups now going into that game against them, and then hopefully we can get that long overdue win against them in the Premier League. It's been a long wait, but obviously we'll discuss that one on next week's show. All right,
Mhm.
bro. So gonna do some predictions for as we normally do. Oh, before I do that, it's just come up our draw. We've got West Ham away.
Ah,
All that our draw now. Yeah, our ball just came out now. So yeah, West Ham away. Wanted a home game ideally, but
yeah.
well, it is West Ham away. That's gonna be tricky, but
I wanted one of the small. I wanted like Port Vale or something like that, like a team that's yeah. I just wanted us to play a team that we could easily just rotate every single person and get us some younger guys playing. But West Ham, I mean, yeah, whatever, man. I think we got. I mean, again, it's one of those like lowest on the thing. Like, if we win, great. Let's keep going. Let's try and win. If we lose, I might be sad and disappointed, but ultimately, it is like the weakest cup, I think. So West Ham, I'll take it. You know the date? Does it say the date?
no, I didn't see it.
Okay, it'll drop eventually.
Yeah, it'll be I think by middle of October
Okay, yeah.
around that time. Right, yeah. So just looking along the draw, a big game seen there is Man United Newcastle.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's gonna be a nice one.
yeah, that'd be a good one. But like West Ham, don't know how seriously they're taking this competition. I didn't see their lineup today, but um, they're in Europe, aren't they? So they're going to be rotating as well, I guess. I don't think they're going to take it at full strength. So, the way we played today, if we can continue along them lines, I know the second half was a bit shaky, but we played well enough to get the win. I'd say we did deserve to get the win, and yeah,
100%.
depends on injuries and how strong a team Arteta goes with for that one. But yeah, decent enough draw. As you said, though, would much prefer a really easy game at home as well. Home, it's much better, obviously, playing at home uh, in a way. But it is what it is. Two away draws in a row in that competition. All right, bro. So as I was about to say, finishing the show as we normally do with some match predictions from you for some of the key games coming up this weekend. So let's start with Man United versus Crystal Palace.
Uh, man, United got. I saw some of that Burnley game, and it was a really nice goal. I have to give them credit, right? It was 1-0 away to Burnley. I guess they did pretty decent to cope with like all the distractions and everything like that. At home against Crystal Palace, Palace are kind of like, as they always are, right? Like just kind of in the middle of the road, never really like, I don't know, dominating. They lost 3-0 though, to United in the cup yesterday. So I think Crystal Palace. I don't think they necessarily return the favor, but I think we see a draw. I think we get a 1-1 draw. Both teams got a lot of injuries, so we'll see what happens. But I think Crystal Palace returns the favor and gets a win, gets a draw.
Okay, yeah, I think being Man United winning that one. I think they're
Hmm.
just getting their feet, finding their confidence. They've won a couple of games in a row now. So
Yeah,
I think yeah, maybe things are starting to pick up a little bit for them. Crystal Palace haven't been that good this season, so I'll go 2-1 Man United in that one.
that's a good shout. Yeah,
Oh, okay,
pretty
so
good.
next up, Wolverhampton against Man City.
Oh, the game that I recently watched Wolves play, man, against Liverpool, and they were taking it to them. Like they're starting to kind of maybe get a little bit of some gain a little bit of confidence going on over there. They lost kind of a heartbreaker against I think Ipswich Town or something like that just yesterday. Um, they could have won that game 2-0 against Liverpool, and then overtime, like Liverpool just kept chipping away, and I was like, man, if Wolves don't score another goal, they're gonna lose like fucking 3-1. And sure enough, they lost 3-1. So it's one of those games. So I don't know, man. I'm hoping that Wolves can put in a good game at home at the Molineux. But and City are just relentless. And yeah, honestly, like I just feel like it's going to be one of those. It's going to be like 2-1 City, but Wolves are going to try their damnedest to get the win. But I think I don't know if City's. I mean, City's eventually going to drop points. I still feel that way. I don't think it's going to be this weekend.
Yeah, I think Wolves, as you said, will probably put up a good fight, but City will have too much. I'm going to go 3-1 Man City in that one. All right, next one's big game. It's going to be really interesting. Two teams that are in good form. We've seen Tottenham ourselves just last week. They are playing well. They had a good start to the season. They're up against Liverpool, who have also had a good start to the season. They're looking good as well. It's going to be a good test for both teams to see how they go. This is next one's Tottenham versus Liverpool.
Yeah, man. That one I'm going to look forward to watching a lot as a neutral, right? Yeah, like I said, Tottenham. I mean, they impressed me, man. As much as I hate to say it, and Liverpool look like they're getting their shit together this year, and they still have some issues, but they're finding ways to win. So like, that's why they're like second right now, right? They're 16 points, but a lot of those points could have easily been dropped or gone the other way. So yeah, man, credit to them where it's due. It's going to be a really good game, I think. Um, I'm gonna say a 2-2 draw though, only because I need both of them to drop points so that when we win, we sneak into second place. And that's that, right? So I think 2-2 draw. It's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, I think close game and yeah, high scoring as well. I'm going to go with
Yeah,
you 1-2-2 as well.
yeah, yeah.
Like you said, great result for us. All right, last game then. So it's a derby match for West London derby between Fulham and Chelsea. I've been loving winding up my Chelsea friends about them being in the relegation battle. They're showing relegation form at the moment. Like, their form is
100%.
atrocious. Like it's what I think 5 points out of 18
Yep.
them. So they really are struggling. And this will be a hard test for them. It's away from home, derby match. Your thoughts on that one?
Then and I'd like to point out Chelsea. The goal they scored today is going to probably be their goal of the month because that was the first goal they've scored in September. Just absolutely dreadful. And then I think another stat I saw was I think if you took the calendar year of 2023 and you took all the points and put that on the table, um, Chelsea are like second from the bottom. Like they'd be relegated if it was just by calendar year. So yeah, looking really bad. Fulham, oh man, I'm looking at the injured and suspended players, and Jesus, man, Chelsea are just in a hole, man. I don't think they're gonna. I think Fulham are gonna beat them. They're at home. We're gonna say. I think it's gonna be an easy win for them. I think it's gonna be 2-0 Fulham. I just anytime I've watched Chelsea, man, they just don't really look like anything special, man. Like it's pitiful. And yeah, I didn't watch today's game, but who knows what happens. Again, I don't really take a cup form as like an indication of how they're going to do like in the league, right, or whatever. So Nah, I don't think so, man. I think Chelsea gets smashed 2-0.
Okay, I think it'll be a draw. It'll be a tight game, and it's going to be a draw, 1-1.
1-1. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take that. They did start a lot of their starters, man. I'm looking at Chelsea's uh starting lineup today, and yeah, the Jackson was in there. They had Mudryk starting, Cucurella, Sanchez, Chilwell,
So
Caicedo started. Yeah, so
but yeah,
the
they
what?
really they need to take the competition seriously because they ain't got no European football. They're not winning the Premier League, so their only
Yeah,
two chances are the League Cup and the FA Cup to actually get any
yeah,
trophies. So yeah, I'm sure they're going to be taking that competition very seriously. Which, as you said, you saw in the lineup today.
yeah.
But yeah, just it's going to take them a while till they sort their things out. As you said, a lot of injuries there. But yeah, we love seeing them struggle. Long may that
Love
continue.
it. Hell yeah.
So, bro, great speaking to you again.
Yeah, man. Pleasure, man. And looking forward to chatting with you over the weekend. Big, yeah, big
Wait,
couple.
I forgot to ask you, how's Austin FC going?
Oh, bro. I think the dream is over. There's like 4 games left, but it's been like over 90 days since we've actually got a victory. Um, at one point, we were in line to get a playoff spot, and now we've kind of fallen out of it. So now we're just playing for pride, man. So it's not going to happen this year. I think our coach is going to get sacked at the end of the year. It's been rough, but you know what? Like I ride or die with them. I didn't go to the last game because it was just on a Sunday, but our last home game is next Saturday, and I'm definitely going to get a couple tickets and go just to support the boys, man. But yeah, it is what it is. So it's just 100% Arsenal now and American football, right? And then so, but yeah, man, Austin FC,
Not
rest in
long,
peace.
not long
Yeah,
till the NBA starts as well.
NBA starts too. Yeah, so yeah, man. I mean, it is what it is. Um, but you kind of, I'd much rather us, especially at this point, the way we've been playing. I'd rather us give up. It looks like we're just kind of mailing it in, or you know, as they say, like guys are at the beach already. That's what it looks like now. So it's just like, whatever, man, get it over with. But it doesn't hurt, it doesn't sting, just because we've been looking bad for a long time. So you're
Okay.
kind of accepted it, you know. It
How
is what
long's
it is.
your break there for a new season?
Us. So it'll end like in November, and then it'll get started again like in February or March.
Okay.
Yeah, so pretty long time.
Yeah, that is quite a long break.
Mhm.
All right, cool, bro. So, as always, great speaking to you. Look forward to speaking to you next week. Hopefully, discussing a great win against Bournemouth and then previewing our massive week coming up, Champions League, and that massive game
City.
against Man City. Huge,
Yeah,
huge.
man. Let's go. Come on, you Gunners. This is great. I mean, again, a lot of adversity our guys are going through, but you know what? Like this is part of it. This is what football is, right? So it's part of it all. So I'm just really excited to see how this team copes with it, and gonna be there no matter what with them, man. So come on, Arsenal.
Yeah, come on, boys.
Yeah,
So
let's
that's
go.
all from us. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share.